Blues for Chelsea? Welcome back, dear followers of What's Kickin. As we know, Chelsea Football Club has had an uncertain 2 weeks following sanctions by the UK government on its owner, Roman Abramovich, due to his relationship with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, whose country has invaded Ukraine. The businessman has thus been forced to put the club up for sale after 19 years of ownership. He was later then disqualified as club director by the Premier League board. Let's have a quick look at essentially what the Blues can and can't do as things stand. Sanctions will be reviewed in May, but these are some of the risks they face. If the war does not end by then, it could lead to stiffer measures. Where does this all leave Chelsea? Do you think, is this the end of Chelsea as we know it? The immediate future before the sale is approved looks pretty grim.
As you know, we're the European champions. We're also the world champions a few months back. And our club is located in London. So as you know, I think previously, before the bids were closed, there were so many bidders. And we are not going to get an owner like Roman. Definitely, we're not going to get someone who is so enthusiastic, someone who loves the club. But I think we are far from over. I don't think this is the end of Chelsea.
Do you think there's a sustainable future for the club? What would it look like? And does that mean learning to live without a billionaire owner and accepting being a mid-table club before working your way up again?
As we know, Roman Abramovich has decided to write off the debt that the club owes to his company. So the new owners will have it easy because when they will buy the club, if it goes according to the plans, they're going to buy it with zero debt. So they can build up from there. What difference that we can see from the start is the new owners might not be invested personally like how Roman was. And the managers also probably get more time definitely under the new ownership. They will not be sacked just as per their liking, as the liking of the owners. So I do not think Chelsea will be a mid-table club. Definitely not.
What about you, Adrian? What do you think?
Chelsea is not going to suddenly become a small club. I mean, you look at what's happened to Man U, right? Okay, granted, Man U's got a much larger fan base. But realistically speaking, Man U has not technically been a big club in terms of winning titles for a while now. If you think about it, the last title they won was like nearly a decade ago, or more than a decade ago. But I think whatever Chelsea has done under Roman in the last like 18 years has more or less cemented Chelsea into the history books as well as optically to the football world as a big club. And that's going to take a while before it kind of disappears. And if you think about it, we've got a thriving academy. We've got a good image, brand image that's growing worldwide. We are still winning titles. We are still winning games on the field. And we have very, very good assets in our team as well. So this is not an aging team where all the assets are non-sellable. For example, I don't want to point out to other clubs, but there are other clubs in a much worse position in regards to that. We've got very sellable assets in there and a lot of young academy players coming through and a lot of them doing very well as well. So I really think it's not as grim as a lot of people has made it out to be.
Chelsea have done remarkably well. They're also in the FA Cup semi-finals, the last 8 of the Champions League. Do you think this difficult time has actually brought the club together?
A lot of people have said that if Tuchel was smart and he's an extremely intelligent man, he would use this entire situation as a bit of a siege mentality thing to say that, a lot of people want to see you guys fail at this point of time. It's up to you guys to prove it out the field, right? And if you think about it, our performances in the last, say, 5 to 6 games has been really good. I mean, some games perhaps we did not perform up to the level that we expect the team to. But if you think about the Newcastle game, that felt like a lot like a game that Chelsea, say, a year ago would easily just settle for a point, or it would just be a 0-0, right? But the team kept trying and we scored right at the end to win the game. So I think there is a mentality there that's building, and Tuchel is really done fantastically well throughout this entire period to really steer the ship. I mean, you think about what's happening with Newcastle, with what's happening with Eddie Howe. A lot of people are critical of him because he just keeps it to the football. He doesn't talk about the human element of it. But Tuchel has managed to both talk about the human element of it while at the same time maintaining the performance of the team, which I think, really we are so lucky to have him as the captain of the ship at this point of time. Yep.
I do not think we can have a better man leading us at this moment. If you look at our last few games, I think we only lost one game in our last 13 matches ever since this thing started. And that game that we lost also was on penalty shootout to Liverpool. And in the final, the drive that this team has is something that we saw during the times of Drogba and Lampard and John Terry, because this team do not give up. They play until the final whistle because they're playing for that man and they're playing for the crest on the jersey. They're playing for the badge. The perfect example was when Mason Mount scored the goal and he pumped his chest and to show that, and he kissed the badge. So we have to understand that they are also humans, and at the end of the day, all these talks also affect them, and they cannot do anything about it. It's not their fault, whatever is happening. But what Tuchel said is that he has the responsibility to the fans, to the players, to make sure that they perform on the field and to give Chelsea fans what they deserve and to give the players also what they deserve. And Tuchel has not shied away from anything. He has not blamed COVID. He has not blamed injuries. He has not blamed the sanction. He has not blamed anything. He has just gone on with whatever he has at his disposal. And he just accepted it. Whatever it is, he just accepted it.
Are you worried about losing Thomas Tuchel in the summer because he's had to dismiss a few rumours recently?
Looking at stories that link Tuchel to Man U is really one of great fear for all Chelsea fans. I personally think that he won't go. If we get a good owner in, everything remains. Because I think Tuchel is someone that it feels like he really prioritizes the environment that he works in more than, say, other things. I think he's more than willing to work under any circumstances, if you think about it. He has not been like other managers crying out for more money, to spend more money on players. He's always found a solution no matter what. And I think that if we can bring in the owner quick enough, steady the ship, I believe that he will stay. If I were Tuchel and I look across the pond at Man U, I would think that that's really a difficult job to take, right? Mm-hmm. You've got sort of an aging team there with a lot of superstars that are difficult to get rid of, a lot of player power. In a way, he'll be taking over PSG again. And we know that he really didn't like it in PSG. And he really appreciated the environment that Chelsea provided for him to do what he needed to do here. So I think that he's not going to go under those circumstances. But of course, if the ship is not steady and things are topsy-turvy, I mean, anything could happen essentially. But that's not something that I think we'll rather lose players. I think at this juncture, and I think Sarabmeet will probably agree with me, we'll rather lose players rather than lose him actually. Yeah,
he is. In my opinion, the best manager that we've had after Jose, and whenever he wins the Premier League next, I think he'll be undoubtedly the greatest manager post Roman in Chelsea history.
Does the current situation mean the Champions League defence is as good as over, or with so much uncertainty, it must be difficult for these players to stay focused?
Ironically, if you think about on our side of the draw, we will have to play Atletico or Man City potentially, and potentially beat Real Madrid in order to get into the final. And if you think about it, Atletico, Real Madrid, and Man City were the teams that we beat on the way to winning the title or winning the Champions League last year. So in a way, it's doable. Chelsea has really reached the semi-finals of almost every single cup that Tuchel has presided over. So he knows how to get the tune out of this team to win these competitions.
It's definitely hard, but it's not impossible, especially with Tuchel there. We did it last year. We might do it again.
It's a very good input from both of you. And thank you again. Stay safe, stay strong, guys, and you never walk alone. There we have it from both fans. Both think that under Thomas Tuchel, Chelsea Football Club will continue its good results on the pitch, no matter what is happening off the pitch. Premier League football takes a backseat to international footy this weekend. When it returns, these are the fixtures. Liverpool will be in action first and could go top with a win over Watford at Anfield. Who would have thought, huh? They were 14 points behind Manchester City in January. That's all for today. We'll meet again on the next episode of What's Kickin'. If you'd like to feature in our show, do respond to our topic of choice and send your thoughts to this email address. Come on and join our Football Mad Tribe, your Football Mad Tribe.